राम 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 सर्वेभ्यः नमो नमः सुप्रभातम्. Welcome to all to this class. गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो. सर्वेभ्यः हार्दं स्वागतं व्याहरामि. सुभाषितानि इति पाठमध्ये सुभाषितानाम् अर्थावगमनम् अस्माभिः कृतम्. अद्यापि अग्रिम सुभाषितानाम् अर्थं ज्ञातुं प्रयत्नं कुर्मः. Request the students to please raise your hands so that I can give an opportunity for you to recite the Subhashitani. Ravi Shankar Mahodaya, can you please recite this?
हरि ओम
Namaste.
रवि निशाकर योगिरः पीडनं गजभुजंग विहंगम बंधनं मतिमतां च विलोक्य दरिद्रतां विधिरहो बलवानिति मे मतिः.
Uttamam, dhanyavadaha. Well recited, except for the first pada, Ravi Nishakara Yor Graha Pidanam. That was not very clear. Apart from that, well recited. Dhanyavadaha.
योगिरः
Okay. Shankar Mahodaya, can you try to do the Padacheda?
नमस्ते महोदय.
Namaste.
रवि निशाकरयोः अत्र विसर्गसन्धि रेप अस्ति. गृहपीडनं गजभुजङ्गविहङ्गमबन्धनं मतिमतां च विलोक्य दरिद्रतां विधिः अहो. अत्रापि विसर्गसन्धि रेप आदेशः. बलवान् इति मे मतिः.
अत्र कोऽपि सन्धिः नास्ति, केवलं गुणिताक्षरमेव. बलवान् इति मे मतिः. उत्तमं, धन्यवादाः.
धन्यवादः.
अत्र पश्यामश्चेत् रविनिशाकरयोः एकं पदं, गजभुजङ्गविहङ्गमबन्धनम् इत्यपि एकं पदं, परं तत्र गजभुजङ्गविहङ्गमबन्धनम् इति पदचतुष्टयं विद्यते, परम् एकमेव पदं समस्तपदं भवति. पश्यामः किम् अस्ति इति. पदच्छेदः सुलभमेव अस्ति. रविनिशाकरयोः ग्रहपीडनं गजभुजङ्गविहङ्गमबन्धनं मतिमतां च विलोक्य दरिद्रतां विधिः अहो बलवान् इति मे मतिः. अन्वयः कथं भवति इति पश्यामः. अत्र सुभाषितकारः विधेः प्राबल्यम् अथवा माहात्म्यं वर्णयति. विधि मीन्स् द फेट्, हौ पवर्फुल् द फेट् इस्. तथा अत्र सुभाषितकारः वदति अहो विधिः बलवान् इति मे मतिः, अथवा मे मतिः विधिः बलवान् इति. So the vidhi itself, the fate itself is very powerful. This is my conclusion. Evam tatra subhashitakarah vadati. Tadartham tatra drishtantam yachati. He gives a few examples, and based on that he concludes that it's all about the fate. Nothing is in our hands. Evam sah vadati. Tatra anvayam pashyamah kimiti. रविनिशाकरयोः ग्रहपीडनं गजभुजङ्गविहङ्गमबन्धनं मतिमतां दरिद्रतां च विलोक्य. केवलं तत्रैव कश्चित् व्यत्ययः भवति. अहो विधिः बलवान् इति मे मतिः. अन्वयः अपि सुलभमेव अस्ति. इदानीम् अन्वयक्रमेण तत्र पदपदार्थं पश्यामः किमस्ति इति. अस्तु. रविनिशाकरयोः, रविः च निशाकरः च, रविनिशाकरौ तयोः इति भवति. अत्र द्वन्द्वसमासः विद्यते. रविः इत्युक्ते सूर्यः, निशाकरः इत्युक्ते चन्द्रः. निशां करोति इति निशाकरः. सूर्यचन्द्रयोः इत्यर्थः. ग्रहपीडनं, ग्रहेण पीडनम् इत्युक्ते इदानीं ग्रहणं सर्वदा भवति, सूर्यस्यापि भवति चन्द्रस्यापि भवति. तर्हि तादृशमहाग्रहाणां कृते एव तत्र ग्रहणं भवति चेत् कथम् अन्येषां कृते तत्र पीडा भवत्येव खलु इति तादृशं ग्रहेण पीडनं भवति. द एक्लिप्स् विल् बि देर् फार् both the sun and the moon. Gaja bhujanga vihangama bandhanam. Gajascha bhujangascha vihangamascha. Iti swikurmashcheta. Gaja bhujanga vihangamaha tesham bandhanam. Gaja bhujanga vihangama bandhanam. Atra द्वन्द्व समासः अनन्तरं षष्ठी तत्पुरुष समासः विद्यते. गज सर्प पक्षिणां बन्धनम्. एतेषां खगानां सर्वेषां बन्धनं वयं पश्यामः. Even an elephant can be captured and can be tamed, which is a very majestic animal. Also, the same way is with respect to the serpent or the snake. The snake charmers will again capture it, even though it is poisonous, dangerous, etc. The same way, the birds which have wings, which can fly easily anywhere, will also be captivated. And looking at this, the Kavi is again saying, Aho, vidhihi balavan. The next one, matimatam cha, matimatam daridratam cha vilokya. Matimatam, nama buddhimatam, yesham, ye panditaha santi, atava buddhim asya asti iti, buddhi asmin asti iti buddhiman, buddhimatam jananam दारिद्र्य दारिद्र्यं दृष्ट्वा अथवा दरिद्रावस्थां च वीक्ष्य. Seeing people, wise people who are poor, एतद् दृष्ट्वा पुनः कविः वदति विधिः अहो बलवान् इति. If you see, various pandits or scholars in olden days used to be very poor. So there used to be also sayings that he is a Saraswati Putra and not a Lakshmi Putra, and so on. So this is of that context or during that time frame, you can imagine in that way. Matimatam, those who are really competent, those who are really um, maybe well versed in certain Vidya, they would probably be not going behind money. That could be one reason. So looking into such people who are very poor, then the Kavi is concluding that Aho vidhihi balavan, ha bhagyameva baliyaha, daivam eva baliyaha. Daivam also means fate, bhagyam is also fate, vidhi is also fate. Sarvamapi vidhi likhitam iti. भाग्यमेव बलीयः इति मे मतिः इति मे अभिप्रायः मम अभिप्रायः इति कविः वदति. So he is saying that if something is destined to happen, I mean based out of fate, it will definitely happen in that way. So no one can probably control it, and gives these three examples where the phenomenon like eclipse cannot be controlled, even though it is for Surya or Chandra and so on. There's another similar Subhashita which is coming to my mind. Lalata likhita rekha, whatever has been written on our forehead, I mean that is lalata likhita rekha, I mean that is the fate rather. Harinapi harenapi brahmanapi vayam huna. So even Hari or Hara or Brahma himself who has created us, परिमार्ष्टुम न शक्यते. ललाट लिखिता रेखा परिमार्ष्टुम न शक्यते. It is so that the your fate cannot be erased. It cannot be changed even by the Trinity, gods themselves. So that's how that particular Subhashita goes. So let us see the bhavartha of this Subhashita. Atra kavihi vidhehe mahatmyam vadati varnayati. विधेः कारणादेव सूर्यचन्द्रयोः ग्रहपीडनं गजसर्पपक्षीणां बन्धनं मतिमतां दरिद्रता च भवति. विधिः एव बलवान् इति तर्कयामि अथवा इति अहं चिन्तयामि इति मम अभिप्रायः. Here the poet tells about the greatness of fate. It is due to the fate itself that the eclipse of sun and moon takes place, that the capturing of an elephant, a mighty elephant, a serpent, or birds happen, and that the wise men are poor. That fate is so powerful. That is my opinion, or that is my thought. एवमस्ति अत्र सुभाषितस्य अर्थः. सूर्यचन्द्रयोः, Surya is Hrasva only, it's not Dirgha. There is a question in chat box. Shouldn't it be Surya Chandrayoho? No. Surya Chandra. So Surya is Akarantaha Pullingaha Shabdaha, and hence Surya Chandrayoho. That's how it is. It is correct. Okay. So let us see the Vyakaranamsha here. Ravi Nishakarayoho. I already told about the Samasa. Ravihi cha Nishakaraha cha Ravi Nishakarau Tayoho. Akarantaha Pullingaha Shashti Vibhaktihi Dvivachanam Grahapīdanam. अत्र अकारान्तः नपुंसकलिङ्गः पीडनम् इत्येव शब्दः प्रथमविभक्तिः एकवचनं गजभुजङ्गविहङ्गमबन्धनं गजश्च भुजङ्गश्च विहङ्गमश्च द्वन्द्वसमासः तेषां बन्धनम् अकारान्तः नपुंसकलिङ्गः प्रथमविभक्तिः एकवचनं मतिमतां मतिः अस्य अस्ति इति मतिमान् मतिमत् शब्दः तकारान्तः शब्दः तस्य षष्टिविभक्तिः एकवचनं क्षम्यतां षष्टिविभक्तिः बहुवचनं विलोक्य इति ल्यबन्ताव्ययं वि उपसर्गसहित लोकृ आलोकयति लोकयति इति धातुः. It is to look, basically to see. दरिद्रताम् is आकारान्त स्त्रीलिङ्ग शब्दः. दरिद्रता इति शब्दः द्वितीया विभक्तिः एकवचनं. विधिः इकारान्तः. And then अहो and iti is अव्ययं. बलवान् बलम् अस्य अस्ति इति बलवान्. पुनः अत्रापि बलवत् शब्दः तकारान्तः. मे दकारान्तः त्रिषु समानः. मम मतिः मम मे इति षष्ठी विभक्तिः एकवचनं. मतिः इकारान्तः प्रथमाविभक्तिः एकवचनम्. एवम् अस्ति. There's another question. Shouldn't vihangama being the last, shouldn't shabda be pullinga shabda in the word gaja bhujanga vihangama bandhanam? Gajascha bhujangascha vihangamascha, if you consider that, that will be a pullinga shabda. Gaja bhujanga vihangamaha tesham bandhanam. Now the compound is made between these three words and then bandhanam. So the bandhanam it's itself a napumsakalinga shabda, and hence the overall word also will become napumsakalinga. I hope that answers your question. Dhanyavadaha. Astu. We will go to the next Subhashita now. Another very beautiful and very famous Subhashita. Padmavati Bhagini, can you please recite this?
नमस्ते महोदय.
Namaste.
सुखार्थी वा त्यजेत् विद्यां विद्यार्थी वा त्यजेत् सुखं सुखार्थिनः कुतो विद्या कुतो विद्यार्थिनः सुखम्.
Uttamam, dhanyavadaha. Please pay a little more attention on the Mahaprana. So sukharthi va tyajet vidyam vidyarthi va tyajet sukham sukharthinah kuto vidyarthinah sukham iti bhavati. Lalita Bhagini, can you please do the padacheda?
Sukharthi, sukham arthi.
But yeah, it's a one word samasa, but yeah, sukharthi is there. Yes.
Teje vidyam.
Tyajet vidyam. Which sandhi is it?
Tejed vidyam. Correct. Vidyarthi.
No. Which sandhi is it?
Tejed vidyam is just a sandhi.
Very good. Yes. Tyajet vidyam. Very good. Next. Vidyarthi.
Vidyarthi va tejet sukham. And sukharthina or sukharthina, one word.
Yes.
Kudaha.
Very good.
Vidya. Kudaha vidyarthinaha sukham.
Very good. Dhanyavadaha. Well answered. Okay. So now let us see the padacheda. It's very straightforward. Sukharthi va tyajet vidyam vidyarthi va tyajet sukham sukharthinah kutaha vidya, kutaha vidyarthina sukham. The Anvaya is also very simple and straightforward here. It is just a play of two words, Sukha and Vidya, and then it is like mutually um, maybe competing with each other. So only one will be there and not both. So that is what is the Subhashitakaras idea here. So it's a trade-off between Vidya and Sukha. If you want Sukha, you cannot have Vidya, and if it's the other way around, you will have Vidya but not Sukha, etc. So that is what is being conveyed here. The Anvaya will be thus Sukharthi Vidyam Tyajeta Athava Vidyarthi Sukham Tyajeta. Sukharthinah Vidya Kutaha Vidyarthinah Sukham Kutaha इति तत्र सुभाषितकारः प्रश्नं करोति. So let us see the padapadartha in the Anvayartha. Sukharthi Sukham praptum yaha ichhati. Sukham ichhati iti sukharthi. One who seeks pleasure or happiness or comfort. We can do it also in that way, comfort or luxury. So this is what is sukharthi. Vidyam jnanam tyajet jahyat, or to should give up. Tyajet is basically vidhiling lakara of tyajati iti dhatoh vidhiling lakara. अथवा विद्यार्थी विद्यां प्राप्तुं यः इच्छति, यदि विद्यार्थी चेत् सुखम भोगम, or that is basically pleasure or luxury, sukham tyajet. So he has to leave out that, give up the pleasure. Sukharthinah yah sukhameva praptum ichhati tasya sukharthinah, for one who seeks luxury, vidya kutaha jnana praptihi katham shakya. Prapti is a strilinga shabda and hence shakya is used. Jnana praptihi katham shakyate, how can he obtain or attain or gain knowledge? Vidyarthinaha yaha vidyam praptum ichhati tasya krite sukham katham bhavati, sukham kutaha, sukham anubhavitum katham shakyate. How can the luxury or pleasure be experienced by a vidyarthi? So this is the overall meaning of this subhashita here. सुखार्थी विद्यां त्यजेत विद्यार्थी चेत सुखम त्यक्तव्यम. यदि सुखार्थी विद्यां न त्यजति तर्हि सः सुखम न प्राप्नोति. अथवा सुखम एव अनुभवति चेत् तत्र विद्यां न प्राप्नोति. यदि विद्यार्थी सुखम न त्यजति तर्हि सः विद्यार्जनं कर्तुम् अशक्तः भवति इति. What is the intention of this particular statement or this particular subhashita is Shanair Vidya. There is another subhashita which says Shanair Vidya, Shanair Vittam, etc. So Vidya is a gradual process that has to be earned or learned over time. Overnight, you cannot become a jnani unless you have that divine power and there's that divine intervention. So it is a gradual process through which you have to put in your effort to learn from, and hence you cannot be lazy about studying, lazy about practicing, lazy about probably learning from different books, from different teachers, and putting it to practice, etc. So that is what it is meant here. You cannot have a luxurious life that you can sleep whenever you want, you can get up whenever you want, etc. But you should have a discipline to gain the knowledge or learn. So the one who seeks pleasure should forget the knowledge, and if the desire is to be uh, a knowledgeable person, then he has to abandon the luxury or the pleasure. If one who is wishing for pleasure does not abandon knowledge, then he cannot get pleasure, and either way. So this is the overview of this subhashita. A few subhashitas that come in similar lines. How is that? Why the importance of Vidya is given in our Sanatana Dharma is, they say Vidya vihinaha pashuhu. A person who is not knowledgeable is equivalent to an animal. Vidya vihinaha pashuhu. Vidyanama narasya rupam adhikam prachanna guptam dhanam, etc. There is one Subhashita which says so. There is also another one which says how a Vidya has to be obtained. Kshanashaha kanashashchaiva vidyam artham cha sadhayet kshanattyage kuto vidya kanattyage kuto dhanam. Another Subhashita on a similar lines. Kshanashaha vidya praptavya. So you should gain the knowledge every second. You should put in that effort to learn every second. So hence there is a lot of effort that is going in gaining the knowledge or obtaining the vidya, and that is needed. In that case, you will have to wake up early. You have to stretch your day to complete the practice, etc. Even now, for example, if you are preparing for the exam, you have to do the memorization. You have to take notes and answer the question and answers, etc. So there is so much of effort involved. So we cannot sit back and say, okay, I I I can just go through the video and then write the exam. So that's how this Subhashita comes here in this case. And our acharyas have said Vidya will be obtained in 4 different stages. One, the first stage is the 25% of the Vidya that you gain is through the acharya. Acharyar padamaratte padam shishyah swamedhaya padam sabrahmacharibhyah padam kalakramena cha. So the second quarter of the Vidya, or the 25%, is basically obtained by his own intellect, the student's intellect. The next quarter, or the 25%, is because of the interaction with the sahapathis, sabrahmacharibhyah. And the remaining 25% is over time, if he's practicing it or if he's contemplating upon that. So that is another Subhashita which is similarly placed. So let us see the Vyakarana Vishesha now. Sukharthin is the Shabda. Sukham ichhati iti Sukharthin. So Nakaranta Shabdaha. So Tasya Prathama Bhaktihi Ekavachanam. Similarly, Tyajet Hano iti Dhatuhu Parasmepadi Vidhiling Lakaraha Prathama Purusha Ekavachanam. Vidyarthi Nakarantaha Pullingaha. Similar to Sukharthi and Vidyarthi is the same word, a similar word. And then Sukharthinaha is Nakarantaha Pullingaha Shashti Vibhaktihi Ekavachanam, and similarly Vidyarthinaha. Hope the Subhashita is clear. We will go to the next one. Let me see the Q&A. Okay, is Vidya and Jnanam should be considered the same? There is a question. Of course, so there are various ways to look at Vidya and Jnanam. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Gitacharya, Krishna says, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. There can be so many Vidyas that are available. So, like the Shastra Vidya, Veda Vidya, Kala is also one of the Vidya types of Vidya. You can consider that way. But whatever has been put forth by our rishis in this Jnana Parampara, any Vidya, if you take it and go towards the end of it, that is, learn that in depth, in totality, you will obtain that ultimate Jnana. So they cannot be directly translated or used interchangeably, I would say, Jnanam and Vidya. But more or less for our purpose, we can consider it to be similar. Of course, there's a bit of a gray area between the two words, but that should be still okay. Okay, so now let us see the next one. There's a question, what does curse in Sanskrit mean? Curse means shapaha, or tarjayati is also fine. Tarjayati is scolds, basically. That either of the words can be used. Okay, we'll go to the next Subhashita. Prakash Mohini Bhagini, can you recite this?
Namaste.
Namaste.
Jayanti te sukrituno rasa siddha kavishvaraha नास्ति तेषां यशः काये जरामरणजं भयम्.
उत्तमं, धन्यवादाः. So let's see the padacheda. Shantala Bhagini, can you do the padacheda?
श्रूयते न?
Ha, श्रूयते.
जयन्ति ते सुकृतिनः अत्र विसर्गस्य उकार तदनन्तरं गुणसन्धि रससिद्धाः कवीश्वराः नास्ति न अस्ति सवर्णदीर्घसन्धिरूपम् अथवा नास्ति तेषां यशः काये अत्र सन्धिः नास्ति जरामरणजं भयम्.
उत्तमं, धन्यवादाः. अत्र कवि ईश्वराः अत्रापि सन्धिः अस्ति, परम् एतत्तु एकपदमेव, सवर्णदीर्घसन्धिः अस्ति. कवि ईश्वराः. अस्तु, धन्यवादाः. अस्तु, let us see the padacheda. Padacheda is very straightforward. Jayanti te sukrutinaha rasasiddhaha kavishwaraha na asti tesham yashah kaye jaramaranajam bhayam. Atra kavihi kavinam vishaye kavinam prashamsam karoti. Here the kavi is doing the prashamsa of the other kavis, basically the great poets. Te sukrutinaha rasasiddhaha kavishwaraha jayanti. They always be celebrated. All the great poets who are the masters of the Navarasas, Rasasiddhaha, Sukrutinaha, coming from a very, I would say, uh, appreciable, or maybe Kulinaha, you can also take in that way, who have done so much of good work. Sukrutinaha. Kriti is basically work, who have done very good work through their sahitya, like say maybe from the poems or from the gadya, padya, etc. They will be always celebrated. Jayanti, they will be always celebrated. Tesham yashah kaye, for their fame, or for their fame, there is no bhaya, or there's no fear of old age, jara, or marana, old age or death. Even though they are old, even though they are not there anymore, their work speaks for them and they will be always celebrated. So that is the meaning of this Subhashita here. Anvaya is in this way: Te sukrutinaha rasasiddhaha kavishwaraha jayanti tesham yashakaye jaramaranajam bhayam nasti. Tesham yashakaye jaramaranajam bhayam nasti is the only word that goes to the end. So let us see the Padapadartha for this. Sukritinaha, Sukavya Rachaitaraha, those who have composed good works, basically the Gadya, Padya, Champu, and so on, whatever work, the Natakas, etc., like the Kavis like Kalidasa, Bana, Bhatti, or Vyasa Bhasa Kalidasa, ityadi. Any poet that you can remember of, you can just see they are still famous irrespective of when they had written this work, because the work is a glorified uh, thing which basically enhances their fame day after day. Rasa siddhaha, navaraseshu siddhaha, masters of the 9 sentiments or the 9 moods. You can also say it that way. Navarasa. So the navarasas are the Shringara, Veera, Vibhatsa, etc. There are 9 um, things that can be put into the Sahitya based on Alankara Shastra, which generates the mood in the person who listens to it. Shanta, Veera, and so on. Then Kavishwaraha, Shrestha Kavayaha, the greatest of the poets. Kavinam Ishwaraha. Kavishwaraha is a word which means Kavinam Ishwaraha, the lords of the poets. So that means to say the great poets. Jayanti, Sarvada Jayam Prapnoti, will be always victorious, will be always celebrated. Tesham yashah kaye, kavinam, tesham nama, for their kirti sharire, for in the body of their fame, or yashah kaye is basically their fame will not be affected by the old age or the death. Jara marana bhyam jatam iti jara maranajam bhayam nasti, bhitihi nasti. There's no fear because of the old age or the marana. So let us see the bhavartha of this. Sukavya rachayitaraha rasasiddhaha kavishwaraha sada jayanti, sada abhimanam prapnuvanti. Tesham yashah kaye, tesham kirti vishaye, charamaranaabhyam bhitihi nasti, yataha te swarachana swarupaihi amaraha. Because of their works, they'll be always immortal. Great poets who have mastered the 9 sentiments are always victorious. There is no fear of old age or death for their fame. They live forever through their compositions or their contribution in the Sahitya Loka. So let us see if there is any other questions in this. Jara maranajam iti katham agatam. Jara and then marana. So jaras shabda and then jara shabda and then marana shabda. Jara cha maranam cha iti bhavati. Jara marana tayoho, jara maranayoho jatam iti jara maranajam. Ja, whenever you use, it is obtained from that. So that is the meaning of jara maranajam. Let us see the Vyakarana Amsha in this. Rasa Siddhaha, Raseshu Siddhaha, Saptami Tatpurusha Samasaha, Kavishwaraha, Kavinam Ishwaraha, Jayanti Ji Jaya Dhatoho, Parasmaipadi Latlakara, Prathama Purusha Bahuvachana Rupam, Yashah Kaye, Yashaha Eva Kayaha, Tasmin, Ata Karmadharya Samasaha, Vartate. And then Jara Maranajam, Jaracha Maranamcha, Jara Maranau, Jara Maranabhyam Jatam, Jara Maranabhyam Jatam, Jara Maranajam iti bhavati. I hope that is clear now. Jara Maranajam. Okay, so we will go to the next one. Rajani Bhagini, can you please recite the next Subhashita?
नमस्ते महोदय।
Namaste.
यथा कन्दुकपातेन पातेनोत्पत्त्यार्यः पतन्नपि तथा त्वनार्यः पतति
Mritpinda.
मृत्पिण्डपतनं यथा।
Astu. Dhanyavadaha. Prema Bhagini, can you try to do the Padacheda?
नमस्ते महोदय।
Namaste.
यथा कन्दुकपातेन उत्पतति आर्यः पतन् अपि तथा तु there it is अनार्यः पतति मृत्पिण्डपतनं यथा।
Uttamam. Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादः।
Harin Mahodaya, can you tell the sandhis in these splittings?
महोदय पातेन उत्पतति तर्हि गुणसन्धि, पतति यार्यः तर्हि यणसन्धि, यणसन्धि, पतन्नपि पतन् प्लस अपि टु नस् आर् देर् न जानामि।
Astu. Atra Namunagama Sandhihi. Namut. So basically, whenever there is pratyang atma, etc., patan napi. So there's a dvitva of nakara. So it's an agama sandhi, which we have studied during the vyanjana sandhi portions. Astu.
अस्तु, धन्यवादः। तु अनार्यः गुणसन्धि।
No. Again, here
sorry.
also it is yen sandhi. Tu anarya.
Yeah, correct. यणसन्धि। अस्तु,
Astu. Sure. Dhanyavadaha. Okay. So next, let us see the Padacheda and Anmaya. Yatha Kandukapatena Utpatati Aryaha Patan Api Tatha tu Anaryaha Patati Mritpinda Patanam Yatha. So here the Subhashitakara is giving a direct example between two kinds of people. One who is a good person and a bad person. You can think in that way, Aryaha, Anaryaha. And then he's giving an example of how a ball rebounces or bounces back, and then if it is a ball made out of mud, how it will just fall and it will not bounce back. So he's using these two examples and says, if at all a great person, a good man, falls down, he will quickly come back. He will be resilient to come back, and he bounces back like a ball. But a bad person, if he falls, he will just fall. He will not even make an attempt to come up. So that is the overall meaning of this Subhashita. Let us see the Anvaya of this. Aryaha yatha kandukapatena patannapi utpatati tatha utpatati. Anaryaha tu tatha patati yatha mritpinda patanam patati. Mritpinda patanam yatha bhavati tatha anaryaha patati. So here patati means falls. Falls means uh, he makes a mistake. So suppose a mistake is done and then he corrects his mistake. So that is bouncing back. Or if he does something wrong, he learns from it and tries to improvise about it. So anaryaha, a bad person, will not even worry about it. He will just say, okay, it's fine. So evam, that is the overall meaning of this particular subhashita. Let us see the padapadartha. Dharmikah, Aryaha is a dharmikah, sadachara sampannah, a noble man or a great man. Kandukasya pataha, tena kandukapatena, yatha, like the falling of a ball. Okay, patannapi, adhaha patannapi, even though he is falling down, even when you throw ball down, when it is dropped, utpatati, punaha uttishtati, how indeed it is um, bounced back. Okay, so anaryaha tu dushtachara sampannaha, an evil man or a bad person, you can take it that way. Mritpinda patanam, mritpindasya patanam iva. Mrit means mud, mritika or mud. Saikata is also another word which we can use. Mritpindasya patanam yatha bhavati tadvat patati eva. He will just fall. So it will not again bounce back. So there's the statement in the Bhagavad Gita which Bhagavan says, Atmanatmanam uddharet, uddharet atmanatmanam, natmanam avasadayet, atmaiva hyatmano bandhu, atmaiva ripuratmanaha. He says, every being has to work towards or put efforts towards improving themselves. So in Arya, by that sadachara sampannaha, a good person, will always try to learn from the mistakes, and even though he falls down, he will come up soon. He will be very much resilient. But an Anarya, if he falls, he says it's all because of fate, and I don't have anything to do, and he will just stay complacent there. So that is the difference between Arya and Anarya, and we need to be very cautious about it, and we should always strive hard to improvise ourselves. So that is the overall meaning of this. सदाचार संपन्नः सत्कुल प्रसूतः मनुष्यः जीवन मार्गे यदि पतति तर्हि कन्दुकपातेन इव पुनः उत्पतति सः स्वदोषं पुनः न करोति दोषस्य पुनरावृत्तिम् अपि न करोति अनार्यः तु मृत्पिण्डपतनम् इव पतति सः पुनः पुनः उत्पतितुम् अपि अशक्तः भवति इति भावः. So the people who are always good and reside in good background, if ever they fall in the path of life, they don't hesitate, or they would rather rise up again, just as a ball that was dropped down comes up. Bad people, when they fall, they do it so like a mud ball that breaks up when it falls and it cannot bounce up back. So evam tatra subhashitakarah atra vadati. We'll see the Vyakarana Vishesha for here. Patannapi, Patan plus api, Patannapi atra Namudagama Sandhihi, as we already spoke. Anaryaha na Aryaha nai tatpurushaha. One who is not an Arya is called Anarya. And fact is, the word Arya was used extensively by the Surya Vamsha uh, clan of Rajas. So Bharata or even Rama, etc., they used to often address the other person as Arya. Bharata especially used to address Rama as Arya. So Arya means a person who is at a very high state of nobility. You can think in that way, ideals, etc. So he is an Arya. So if you are having very good character, so in another way to look at it also is people with high character will definitely bounce back even if the situations are bad. But people with probably little bit low character will not even bother to pick themselves up and do what is needed. So that is the meaning of this particular Subhashita. Yeah, so there are some comments as well. Like it is said, wise man learns from others' mistakes as well, while a foolish person does not learn even from his own mistakes. Yes, that is true. Wise men will be very much vigilant, careful about not doing any mistakes. They learn from others' experience as well. That is there. Ravi Shankar Mahodaya, thanks for the inputs there. The Navarasas, you have just enumerated the Navarasas like Shringara, Veera, Karuna, Adbhuta, Hasya, Bhayanaka or Bhaya, then Ashcharya, Raudra, and Shanta. That's right, the Navarasas. Um, and also about the Jnana, the previous comment. Um, Jnana is something that is Atma Jnana is only due to a Guru's grace, and you should learn in a very systematic and a structured way from a Guru. That is also true because, as I said, Vidya is it can be any kala, etc. But when you go deeper, that also will can get converted to Jnana because of the proximity of the Guru and his grace. Uh, okay, so we will be learning samasa. Yes, we will be touching base upon a few samasas in upcoming classes, like we did some of the grammar portion for the Kridanta, Sandhi, and so on. We will also do a bit on the samasa, very limited though, just to give an overview and have a structure around samasa. Then प्रथमवयसि पीतम् इति सुभाषितम् अत्र एकः संशयः अस्ति नराणाम् इति पदं वर्गे कृतः श्लोकस्य अन्वये नास्त्येव. हा, so um, Naranam is being used because it is understood or it is called as Adhyahara. So certain times when we do the Anvaya, we may introduce some words which are very much apt and that is understood. And though it may not be available in the Subhashita altogether. So that is still possible and you can use that um, in the Anvaya Krama. So that brings to the completion of this lesson on the Subhashitani. Um, so these 10 Subhashitas have to be memorized. I will quickly read through the Subhashitas once and just explain in brief about how these Subhashitas are coming up. प्रथमवयसि पीतं तोयमल्पं स्मरन्तः शिरसि निहितभाराः नारिकेळानराणां ददति जलमनल्पास्वादमाजीवितान्तं न हि कृतमुपकारं साधवो विस्मरन्ति. The Subhashita states about how the great people will be always ever grateful or will be always grateful even to the smallest help they might have received. The poet is giving an example of Narikela Vriksha, which is also called Kalpa Vriksha, which probably takes in small amount of water from human beings in its early ages, but later gives back Analpam, which is unlimited water, which is also very sweet, which is a tender coconut. प्रत्यहं प्रत्यवेक्षेत नरश्चरितमात्मनः किन्नु मे पशुभिस्तुल्यं किन्नु सत्पुरुषैरिति. Here the Subhashitakara says about pratyaham pratyaveksheta, every man has to self-introspect every day and see how he did, what he did in that day, whether his conduct was like that of great people, great men, or was it just merely like an animal? Like he did not really add any value uh, in his life. निन्दन्तु नीतिनिपुणाः यदि वा स्तुवन्तु लक्ष्मीः समाविशतु गच्छतु वा यथेष्टम् अद्यैव वा मरणमस्तु युगान्तरे वा न्याय्यात् पथः प्रविचलन्ति पदन्नधीराः. Here again the Subhashitakara says about how determined will the righteous people be. They will never ever come out of the righteous path, irrespective of if anyone scolds them, praises them, or curses them, etc. Whether they get money or they will not, or even if the mrityu is there next to them, also they will not be hesitant in not moving away from the righteous path. राजाघृणी ब्राह्मणः सर्वभक्षी स्त्री चात्रपा दुष्टमतिः सहायः प्रेष्यः प्रतीपोऽधिकृतः प्रमादी त्याज्या अमी यश्च कृतन्न वेत्ति. Here the Subhashitakara reminds about staying away or abandoning these people. He gives the examples of a very soft Raja, very compassionate, over compassionate Raja, um, a Brahmana who is not having control over his senses, or even he eats whatever he gets. Stri Chatrapa, um, who is a woman who is not um, shy. Shy here in sense that she is not worried about her character. That is the meaning as such. Dushtamatis Sahayaha, a person with a ill mind or a ill-witted person who would probably support us. Preshav Pratipaha, a Duta who is doing the opposite of what is expected, and a person, an official who is making mistakes, the adhikari who is making mistakes, and then one who does not know what he is doing, or one who does not acknowledge the help that is received by others. So all these have to be abandoned. Vidyaya vimalayapyalankritaha durjanas sadasi mastu kashchana sakshara hi viparitataangataha kevalam jagati tepi rakshasaha. In this Subhashita, the Subhashitakara is telling that even though a person is knowledgeable, if he is not having good intentions, he would be no different than a demon or a rakshasa. So Vidyaya Vimalayapi Alankrataha Durjanaha Sadasi Mastu Kashana. So he is telling to the king, so in your court you should not have a person who is having bad intentions. So even though they are Saksharaha, the exact opposite of that which is Rakshasaha, they will be just the Rakshasas. पौलस्त्यः कथमन्यदारहरणे दोषन्न विज्ञातवान् रामेणापि कथन्न हेमहरिणस्यासम्भवो लक्षितः अक्षयैश्चापि युधिष्ठिरेण सहसा प्राप्तो ह्यनर्थः कथं प्रत्यासन्न विपत्तिमूढमनसां प्रायोमतिः क्षीयते. Here again the Subhashitakara is saying, if the calamity is destined to happen during that difficulty or during that calamity, our minds gets fogged or clouded, so we'll not be able to think. Matihi kshiyate, our intellect, the decision making will be hurt during a calamity. And then he gives three examples. How was it that Ravana, though he was from a very good lineage of Rishi Parampara, Pulastya Rishi, though he was well versed in the Shastras, how could he abduct someone's wife? And Rama, though he was very intelligent, how how is that he was lured by the sight of a golden deer when he knew that it was not possible to for such a thing to exist? Then even though Yudhishthira was a nitignya, he knew everything in the Shastras, etc. How was he that he became um part of this dice game, and unnecessarily he put into stake everyone? How could he obtain this anartha? And then he concludes saying, Pratyasanna vipatti mudha manasam prayo matihi kshiyate. Sukharthi va tyajet vidyam, vidyarthi va tyajet sukham, sukharthinah kuto vidya, kuto vidyarthinah sukham. So here, as we saw today, a person who is desiring to obtain Vidya should leave away his comfort or the luxuries, and he should strive in to obtain that Vidya, put in a lot of efforts to obtain Vidya. And if he is not interested to learn Vidya, he can, of course, be very complacent and uh, be comfortable. So that is the meaning of this Subhashita. Okay, I missed one verse, is it? Oh, okay. So the seventh one is probably missed. Okay, I'll check that back. Ravi Nish. Okay, now it is there here. Ravi Nishakarayor Grahapeedanam Gajabhujanga Vihangama Bandhanam Mati Matancha Vilokya Daridratam Vidhiraho Balavaniti Me Matihi. Here the Subhashtakara is telling about the power of the fate, gives example of the eclipse that happens to the sun and the moon, how even the greatest or the majestic animals like elephant or dangerous animals or creatures like the serpents or the snakes and even powerful birds are captivated, and um, the poverty or the poor uh, state of even the scholars, this all indicates that the fate is the ultimate power. And जयन्ति ते सुकृतिनो रससिद्धाः कवीश्वराः नास्ति तेषां यशः काये जरामरणजं भयम्. While reciting, you can also recite with the Parasavarana, which is Nasti Tesha Yashah Kaye. Tesha Yashah Kaye is another variant or the way we can pronounce it. So here, the Subhashitakara says the great poets will be always remembered because of their works, and their fame their fame is very immortal. यथा कन्दुकपातेन उत्पतत्यार्यः पतन्नपि तथा त्वनार्यः पतति मृत्पिण्डपतनं यथा. And here the Subhashtakara says how the great people will be very much resilient. Even though they fall, they will pick themselves up and rise back, just like how a ball bounces back. But people who are not good will fall like a mud ball falling, and it just breaks and it will not again come up. So, so these are the Subhashitas that we have learnt. Hope it was a good refresher to read all the Subhashitas together and understand the meaning in one line. Okay, so yeah, the Naranam word is there in Prathama Vaisi Pitam. So I think the student who asked the question did not probably see it in detail or that particular Subhashita. And then Vidya Vimalaya Pyalankrato is it Tepi or Tehi? Okay, it's Tepi. Vidya Vimalaya Pyalankrataha Durjana Sadasi Mastu Kashtana. Okay, Saksharahi Vipritangata Kevalam Jagati Te api Rakshasaha. So Astu. So we'll this completes this chapter. Um, please read these Subhashitas, memorize them, and most importantly, please ensure that you are making your own notes for these Subhashita. Okay, so I think I have answered all the questions in the chat box as well. Um, Now I will just quickly show the portal, like I mean the study materials, how to access, etc. In next few minutes, and also a bit about how to look for certain words, like I mean what are the resources that you can use to learn about different words in Sanskritam, whatever you come across, etc. So that part I will be explaining shortly. So please pay attention to this portion as well. Okay, so this is our dashboard or the portal. Hope you're able to see my screen. So as soon as you log into vyoma-samskrta-pathasala, so this is the sanskritfromhome.org website where you can search for various courses, etc. So in this, as I had already told in the past, so please also refer to this uh, Anuvada Pradipa SSSTritiya 2, the second paper for sorry for Tritiya. Anuvada Pradipa. So please refer to it because this is also very important because it is part of the Tritiya portions, Tritiya syllabus. So kindly do learn about this. So enroll now itself. It is already done. It's a past webinar. So you can go over the videos to learn from the contents of this. That is one thing. So as and when you log in, you'll be able to come to this dashboard in this way. And then once you click on the course title exactly, you'll be able to see all the lessons and videos, etc. available here. So here, if you see all the Q&A or the question and answers for each of the lessons are put up in this exam corner. Of course, there are more that would be further uploaded here. So that it's easy for you to refer to and then practice. So for all the remaining lessons also, it will be updated here in the exam corner section. So then all the other lessons for that matter, Subhashitas part 1, you can see that the video, audio, etc. has been uploaded here. Same way for part 2 also for the day before yesterday's class. So there will be, the video will be uploaded soon. And similarly for today's class. We'll be also making some more sections here. So for example, for the memorization contents, so near exam corner, or we will have a separate section called memorization section, where all the subhashitani, all the um, shlokas, etc. will be recited and put there so that you can practice it well. And there were also some questions about how to see the answers for the exercise that was there. So once you do the answers, or once you attempt it, you will be able to come back here itself and um, go through your answers and see what was the mistakes that you had done, or to correct from that. So that is possible. So you can just refer to that and then see view score, or review. There will be an option called review, and then you can get to know how it is coming up. Next is coming to understanding of some of the kriya padas or nama padas that comes in. How do you search for it? So there are multiple applications. One is for example ashtadhyayi.com. So ashtadhyayi.com, if you have it here, like say the dhatu patha, you can refer to any of the dhatus, know which form it is, the details of the dhatu, etc. And then in different ways also, like kartari prayoga or karmani also, what will happen, what will be the forms in bhava karmanoho. We will be doing something about um, the prayoga parivartanam as well. So in that case, it will be helpful. So that is one aspect to learn about any dhatu. You can come to this ashtadhyayi.com and learn from it. And you also have various kridanta prayogas that are available, like kridante. So if you just click on kridante here, you can see what are the different kridantas that we have learned. We can just refer to that. We'll probably take a different dhatu maybe. Okay. So uh, or bhu itself we will take. So bhavitra, bhavya, bhavya, etc. There are different words that you can see here. Bhavaniya and other things like bhuta and so on. Sukta, tavatu, all these words will be you can use this to refer to the kridanta words for various dhatus. And similarly, there are various other things. So do not worry about various things. Then there is one more important thing about the upasargarthaha. So with upasarga, what is the change in the meaning? So you can try to learn from that. Anubhu, anubhavati, anubhav karna, etc. So you can see that. And then abhibhu, with abhi, what is that? Udbhu, and so on. So you can get to know about how the usage of this particular dhatu along with various upasargas is possible. So all these are available or possible through ashtadhyayi.com. Similarly, you have also another section which is also the Shabda Patha. So in the Shabda Patha, you can refer to any of the um, words and then learn from the um, forms basically. So Subanta forms for all the 7 vibhaktis. So you can practice from the Shabda Rupa or Shabda Dhat, Shabda Patha. Similarly, there is also another one which is the Kosha. So Amara Kosha is available. So Amara Kosha you can refer to uh, each Varga and then what are the different words that are there, etc. So whenever you want to make notes, for example, Ravi or Nishakara, if you want to search, so search for Nishakara here, and then you'll be able to, sorry, Nishakara. So here you can see in the Shabda Kalpadruma, or even there are various um, um, dictionaries that will be also cited, and you can learn from that what is Nishakaraha, Nisham Karoti, Nishakaraha, etc. And then you will also see from the Amara Kosha and other places where this word Nishakara is used and what are the different meanings and so on. So in this way, you can make use of this ashtadhyayi.com for everything that is needed for your reference. Another one is the kosha.sanskrit.today. This is one thing which is also very helpful and useful in uh, getting the meanings for various words. This is kind of an aggregator of various dictionaries. So if you, for example, I'll just use one of the words that is there here. So it lists down which all dictionaries has this word, and then if you see, for example, apakarsha, there are so many words that are, or so many dictionaries that are available. And in this also, some will be very straightforward, which is from the Shabda Sagara, etc., which you get the English meaning. So also there will be spoken Sanskrit also, another dictionary. Similarly, you have Apte dictionary, Monier Williams, and all the other dictionaries which are available. So Vachaspatyam and Shabda Kalpadruma. So these two are the Sanskrit dictionaries, which can give you also how the word is obtained. The etymology of the word can be also known from it. For example, here Apa Upasarga Sahita Krisha iti dhatoho bhave ghai. That is the pratyaya that is used. And from that you have got this apakarsha as the word. What is that meaning, etc. And where it is also used in any of the famous granthas, if it is used. So they also give that example. So in this way, your understanding of that word in the context, all those things will be very easy. So in, for example, here, Vakshyati tasyayam puraha पुरस्तात् क्षम्यतां पुरस्तात् अपकर्षः इति महाभारते अस्ति. So it gives from which location or from which grantha this particular word is also available and so on. So this way we can make use of the kosha.sanskrit.today for learning new words, understanding whether the word is a masculine word or a pullinga, strilinga, or napumsakalinga, usage, and so on. So all these things will be available here. So please do refer to these two websites. One is ashtadhyayi.com and then the kosha.sanskrit.today for your reference. Apart from that, for the exam itself, we are almost close to the completion of the syllabus, etc. So in the upcoming weeks, I will be sharing more details about how to take up the exam and so on. But irrespective of that, start preparing for the exam. Go through all the class materials, make your own notes and practice. So with that, probably we'll be able to conclude today. Before we leave, if there are any other questions or anything, I'll just see in the chat box. Okay. So about the exam, as I said, I will be um, discussing or I'll be providing you more details in the coming days. So there are a few questions related to the other lessons. So we will be planning to have one more doubt clarification session soon. So during that, we'll be able to elaborately look into those. Or you can also, as I have shown you now, how to look for certain words or how it is coming, etc. So try using these two resources, kosha.sanskrit.today and ashtadhyayi.com, and most likely you will be able to find out how the words have come. you can try to search there, but of course I will also answer them. So you can also write an email related to those questions, and I can help you out with that. So where we can find the sutras like Raja Hasakibhishtach, etc. So if at all you have heard about a particular sutra and want to know more about it, what is the meaning, etc., you can actually refer to same the ashtadhyayi.com itself. But in the ashtadhyayi.com, you can search for in the Sutra Patha. So Sutra Patha, in that you will have to search for it. So then you will get about it. For example, Raja Hasakibhishtach. So you can see here that is one of the sutras that is there, and then you can see the meaning and how it is used, etc. But this is a bit advanced in the Vyakarana, so it may not be applicable to everyone. But this is the way you can look in for if you remember or know any sutra, you can search in the Sutra Patha. So it will be there. Astu. So um, try to do the exercises for the Subhashitani. We'll also upload the questions there, and you can try to do the uh, exercises on your own and practice it. With that, we will conclude today's session. Sarvebhyaha Ram 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 Namo Namaha Punaha Somavasare Milamaha. Dhanyavadaha.